This is a View from the Bridge, official podcast of the Belfast Giants for kingdomofthegiants.com. Today is Tuesday, the 16th of April, 2024. It's the penultimate podcast of the season, episode 33. My name is Patrick Smith, episode 472 overall, if anybody's interested. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter. You can also download us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all of your normal podcast providers. If you're watching live, we can see some people already are on YouTube or Facebook. Send us a message or send us an X or a tweet or whatever you want to call it. I've given up. And we'll love a bit of feedback on this show. On this week's show, the Giants return to the Final Four in Nottingham, still in the hunt for the playoff trophy that they bagged 1 year ago today. They sealed the grand slam. Right now. It is a leap year. That's right. 1 year ago today, the Belfast Giants, they're up going back after that trophy. Let's look at the victory over the Coventry Blaze in the quarterfinal. And as they prepare for the Final Four, let's hear from the coaching staff in Jeff Mason and the playing staff in Charlie Curti. And we'll be welcoming back our old mate, commercial director of the Elite League, Mark Brooks, is going to pop by to talk about his first year in the role, the playoff finals, and maybe a lot more other bits and pieces. Beside, if you're watching, you'd like to get involved, join in. Mr. McJimsey, bit of a haircut.
I always skin fade, mate, but look at that tail.
Oh, that playoff beard's coming along, mate. You said last week you were hoping that you could push it a bit more. Also, Mr. McJimsey,
starting to get my nerves, like. Hold
on, Mr. McJimsey. I see as well tonight now that you're popping on to another podcast. That's the sort of thing I do. Now you're doing it. Is this what's happening now? You're going to join the boys.
Go board of this one.
You're jumping ship, are you? Is that what's happening?
Can't afford you.
See the sets behind, mate. You see the sets that they have behind like John and Marty and all. It's like the money they put into that. There must be a bit of cash flowing around that Door 14 podcast, and tell you that. So don't be doing it for nothing. Simon, can you see me?
I can see you all right, mate. Can you see me? Just having a wee bit of Vita.
Oh, a bit of listen, mate. It's been a while since I've had Vita. I'll tell you that.
I know you've been missing home all the time, so I thought I'd have a wee bit of Vita. It's lovely.
You weren't on comms this week, obviously, after we were.
He was.
Well, we were, but there was that the first bit, but then you had a substitute step in.
Yeah, Mark Stranser, he's a freelancer for BBC.
Yes.
We've been talking to him for a couple of weeks and want to try and get him in to do a few games next year, because at the minute it's obviously with the off-ice things growing and the commercial side of things, and we just need to see sponsors on game night, and it's important that we try and basically reach out to them and spend a bit of time with them on game night as well. So wait and see where we're getting to next year. But yeah, and to be honest, I couldn't even say numbers, mate. I genuinely couldn't say numbers in the jerseys. I could recognize the way our guys are playing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
I couldn't see a company numbers. And I always like to try and keep the people, I know different people do different webcasts and call the comedy differently. I like to try and keep talking the whole time and explain to people, because there's some people in the arena listening to the game because of partial sightness. So it's one of those ones where I just couldn't do it properly. So I got Mark into the second, third period. I know Miles Gendron joined him for a couple of periods as well. So yeah, it worked out okay.
By the way, he was decent, and I don't mean that in a common sense way. Obviously, he's from either a rugby or football background. The terminology will come because he obviously follows the game as well, but that shined as.
It means a lot when you watch the game as well. Like, when you've watched the game and you see the way the players, you said it yourself, says that when you see the way the players play, and I had two friends at the game. I went to the game on Saturday in Ultra. I had two friends, Hannah and Laura. Big shout to them. They're at their first hockey game. And you see they're like going, where's the puck? Especially when it gets in like into the melee in the front. Because once you start to watch the game, you see the way the players move and play, and it becomes a lot easier to watch. But when you're doing it play by play, it's just we spoke about it last week. About how difficult it can be. But no, well done.
A lot of people think it's actually easy. It's really not that easy. It's the game moves that fast. You just want to try and keep people updated. And yes, you get excited. That's just sport, and that's just wanting to be, your team winning. But it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hope that with all the laser surgery, mate, you'll be back on for a bit next year, and you'll be smashing.
We'll see.
Let's get on those two games. As I tend to do with regards to this sort of double, I'll go through all the statistics, and then we'll talk about the games themselves. We'll start with the 2-1 win in the 2-1 lead, I guess you could say, for the Belfast Giants in the final home game of this season. The two goals for the Belfast Giants come from Ollie Cooper and Ben Lake on the power play. Mitch Cook getting the only power play marker for the Coventry Blaze. Jackson Whistle on goal, 24 shots on, 1 goal against. Taron Cozen on the other side, 37 shots on, 2 goals against. Daniel Ferguson and Dean Smith were the referees. And then we flip over to the game that took place on Sunday in Coventry. And it was a 1-1. Daniel Tedesco in the second period put us one ahead, 3-1 up on aggregate. Danny Christo got one on 59.9999999 seconds to make it 1-1, but 3-2 on aggregate. Jackson Whistle, 18 shots on, 1 goal against. Taron Cozen, 22 shots on, 1 goal against. Matt Rose and Dean Smith were the 2 referees there. Davy, we'll start with Saturday. Like, for a playoff game, I didn't think it was played at playoff pace.
It was a cagey affair. Actually, both nights were quite cagey. I think the Belfast Giants on Saturday probably edged it in terms of, good grade A chances compared to maybe what Coventry had. Both goaltenders did what they had to do. Very defensive from both teams. We had a perimeter, if you like. Nobody wanted to give anything away. Certainly in the first night, these games can effectively be won. You see what Sheffield did the fight. You can put yourself in a really, really strong position, but you can't completely win it in the first night. But I know it sounds a bit stupid to say the other way around. You can nearly put yourself out of it as well. So it's about staying in the tie, 6-period tie, and you wanted to be going with Coventry with a lead. Obviously, it would have been even nicer to go with a more comfortable lead. It would have given us a more comfortable night on Sunday night. But, that's the old put the puck on net and good things happen. And, puts it in from behind. Nice feed from behind. Oliver Cooper crashing into blue paint. One-timer over Cozen's glove side, isn't it for him? Blocker side. And, to go 1-0 and then obviously getting the second goal was a real nice way to go into the Sunday night. But, I just thought, if you want to bring Sunday night into the same conversation, just a real professional closeout. No, we'll stick to Saturday night to give his say on it. But I just thought that, to go back to what I said at the start, cagey and professional would be the two words I'd use.
Well, I think one of the reasons, says, I know you're on mute just in case, but one of the reasons, says, is that you look at the games that these two games have had all season long, and none of them, I think, have been like any sort of way where one team is really lorded over the other. Coventry have had their tight wins, we've had our tight wins, and we look at the quarterfinal second leg that took place on that very SSE Arena ice, where we thought we were home and hosed, and it came back to bite us. So it's not surprising that it was a cagey affair.
Look, I talked about it on the first period of the webcast on Saturday night. The Blaze have been struggling up until last weekend. Obviously, with the loss of Dale Keane back in early March, I think it was, or maybe late February, that hit them hard, and you could tell it hit them hard. They sort of they just couldn't buy a win at one point. But then they went into Cardiff for the week before last and won 5-0, and then they won the night after that as well to clinch the spot, the 6th spot in the playoffs. They're a team you just can't write off, and I thought they actually did. They came in at times on Saturday night. I thought they sort of bullied us, to be very honest. I thought that they were very physical. We found it hard to get anywhere near the middle. They just kept us to the outside. I mean, the first goal, I don't know if you can go back there and look at it, but the first goal itself, it doesn't happen if Blake Campbell's not tripped up by the referee. Blake Thompson is not tripped up by the referee. And you watch the play, literally getting to the net, and Ollie Cooper is literally, if you watch the play here, he cycles it back down low. Ollie Cooper standing in the corner. Referee trips him up, and he gets to the front of the net and gets that goal. Otherwise, Blake Thompson's turning around and getting his man, and he doesn't slot it in. And this is the type of thing that when you get a mistake, you just need to capitalize on it. Davy touched on it about getting grade A chances. I thought we had quite a few on Saturday night, but we just weren't ruthless enough in putting the puck in the net. And that's something that we've been struggling at times this year. I mean, that's a great heads-up play by Princey. Obviously, Blake Thompson's flat on his face there, which It's always a bit of a blooper, but it's a good finish by Oliver Cooper to realise that, I've got a chance here. If I just manage to get into the right spot, I've got a chance of putting this home. And OC's been struggling with goals and points over the last while as well. But so him to get that goal was really important. Unfortunate to lose him on Saturday night, a suspect hit, which wasn't reviewed after that as well. And the Blaze again, they just kept on coming back. I mean, getting an opportunity from there in the slot and nobody's getting a stick on you. Adam would have been disappointed with that one for sure. But again, Doug Deep managed to get the game winner on Saturday night, which ultimately won us the tie over the weekend as well. So it was a difficult game in another sold-out crowd, which the fans this year have been absolutely unbelievable. They really have been fantastic. And you sort of, I think there was a wee bit of an air of anticipation around the arena on Saturday night because, even when we won 2-1, I think a lot of fans thought that we're actually qualified for the playoffs. I don't think they realized it fair. And I think I said to Laura after the game about it because again, it's, yes, you want to get in there. Yes, you want to get to the finals, which is exactly what we've done, and we've given ourselves a chance. It's going to be tough. We've got Cardiff Devils, and then ultimately it's more than likely going to be the Sheffield Steelers. And to beat those two teams to come out with a trophy, then if you beat the both of them, you absolutely deserve the trophy. But you've got to get past the Coventry Blaze first of all to get that done. And I thought we did enough over the two games to do that.
Let's take the post game, and I've got a bit to talk about around what you've just said, Sis, but I'll take the post game from Saturday, and we'll come back to that.
I thought we created enough scoring chances to have a few more goals. We didn't execute. I don't think we shot enough. We were pretty perimeter. That team is quite physical, and they play pretty hard defensively. So you got to work to get to the inside. I didn't think we did enough of that. That being said, I did think we controlled a lot of the hockey game. I thought that their urgency and intensity was a little better than ours, which I didn't love. But coming out of that game with a win is certainly a positive. We had a big power play goal to respond. And the reality is, we have to go in on the road in a very tough building and win a hockey game and put ourselves in the semifinal. If we can't get excited and give a little more intensity, a little more urgency tomorrow to get that job done, we don't deserve to be there. But I'm pretty confident that the guys are pretty disappointed with the overall process of getting that win tonight. But at the end of the day, we're taking a 1-goal lead into a game tomorrow. That's not a bad thing. So we just need to turn up and be better tomorrow. And we certainly know that team is going to have some fight back. They had some fight back in the Challenge Cup, and they're going to have some real fight back tomorrow. We're going to have to be prepared, and we're going to have to bring our best. And that's what playoff hockey should be. So I expect nothing less.
Yeah, I know. I can't fault the compete. Execution for the most part was good. I think even the goals we gave up on the one there, the ref unfortunately trips our guy, just maybe a little out of position there, and trips our guy, ends up in the back of our net. And then the second one, just very unlucky. The throw puck to the net goes off a skate. But in saying that, look, we know coming into this building, you're going to have to weather a few storms, right? There's time. They're a good ozone team. They spread you out, and they generate some good looks off that. But I felt we did a good job. There was times they had pucks on their sticks in our slot. We did a good job getting sticks on them, getting bodies in front of them. We had a couple key blocks tonight, and when they did get in behind us, Cozy came up big. So through and through. Listen, we come in here. The goal obviously was to win a hockey game. But at the same time, you want to make sure you're taking it back home for the second leg with a chance to win, and we certainly did that.
And we move on to Sunday. 2-1 lead for the Belfast Giants going in there. We had a 1-0 lead coming out of Coventry in the Challenge Cup quarterfinal. It was a 1-goal lead there. So, anything can happen in this case. In regards to it, a 1-1 game says, at times, a testing game.
Definitely. Again, when you go into, you expect that when you go to Coventry, it's a tight arena, and you just want to get that first goal. You're 2-1 ahead. You're going into a building that you've had challenges this year, and obviously they've won a couple of games there before. And again, they're very physical in their own building as well. I thought Jackson over the weekend played very, very well. We talked about it last week, obviously with Besco playing really well against the Steelers on the Saturday in Belfast a couple of weeks ago, that he gave Adam a decision to make. And ultimately, Jackson coming out with, I think it was 26 shots on the Saturday. I'm not sure how many he had on the Sunday. And he's only conceded one, but as you said, point not 1-1-1-1 to go in the game. And obviously they get on the board on Sunday night. But I genuinely thought we did enough to win over the 2 games. And Coventry, they've got a couple of really good players. I mean, that kid, Kobe Roth's 28 goals this season, or 27 goals, and McNulty causes problems. He's a good player as well, as much as a bit of a pain. But you sort of just want to get that first goal that we got on Sunday night was absolutely vital, and ultimately it went on and was the deciding goal in the whole tie over the weekend. So really good to get that, to get the win, obviously, or well, not the win, but the tie, but obviously to get the win over the weekend. But again, the goal doesn't happen without a little bit of a bump in the corner, and I thought Laker was actually hurt when I think he was probably right down in front of where Davy was standing. Laker got hit along the wall, and they sort of forgot about him. And as he walked off the wall, the puck was literally right on his stick, and managed the Belfast Giants obviously scored that goal. But again, I thought they caused us problems on Sunday. I thought they had a couple of really big opportunities, and Jackson just turned up and played 2 really solid games over the weekend.
The first 2 periods, Davy especially, I think the third period started to level off a little bit, but the first 2 periods were played at a pace much higher than the night before.
Yeah, I think both nights, like Sunday wasn't it? Yeah, Sunday sort of almost was a mirror of what was happening on Saturday. It was a lot of one and dones. We're getting into the ozone. It was getting cleared out both ways, defensively and offensively. They were trying to get in. We were clearing it straight out. A lot of neutral zone through the game. Sporadic opportunities, both goaltenders coming up. But like into that second period, the Giants really got a bit of control in the game. Got a few ozone shifts where we hemmed them in, tired them out, came up with opportunities. Obviously, the goal comes from a really good play. He's going to be on the show later on. A really strong defensive play down in his own corner from Charlie Curti. Doesn't panic, manages to recycle the puck, and we can go from one end of the ice to the other with possession. That's the kind of stuff we're getting. And he was outstanding, by the way. It was a strong performance on his comeback game there. I know he's been skating for a wee while there after that terrible injury, but
there's the goal there. I'm just firing forward to the goal, Davy. So you see it.
All right, okay. So it's a breakout from our own end after a really good defensive play, and obviously he comes in. That's just where Sis is thinking Lakers gone hurt, but it pops back around him.
But if you watch that play, Davy, I'm not going to have a go at the referees here, because I thought they were let the games run at the weekend. You can do that if you want, but I thought the referees let the game run at the weekend. Both games that was, but that hit on Laker, it's a boarding call. I mean, he gets cross-checked into the wall. He's 3-4 feet out from the wall, and McNulty cross-checks him into the wall. And
you only need to see the players chirping each other even after the goal's gone in.
Yeah. It's about here we go again. Lakers got the puck. He enters the zone. Keep your eyes on the guy right beside him. That's a penalty.
That's a penalty.
All day long. I mean, that's an attempt to injure, in my opinion. McNulty's got that. He did it earlier in the season as well. And then he turtled because the Laker was going to punch the head clean off him. But, that's the penalty. And again, while the referees let the play go,
there's a point to McNulty to make sure they knew that they saw what he did as well.
It wasn't the first time in the game or indeed the season that there's been a few things at that rink on our own. But that aside, we took that lead obviously then into the third period, and maybe 5 minutes to go in the game, and they had been looking to get coaching out at that stage. The Giants then had a couple of real strong ozone shifts where you can't take your goalie out if you're in their zone, so we kept them pinned back. And then once they got closing out, obviously we had a couple of pop shots, and they got the 6-on-5, and as you say, Paddy, 0.1 second to go. They've came up with a shot that's gone through Jackson and give them.
Fell for Jackson on that. I thought he played a really good game.
See, to be honest, I thought Jackson was so strong that he probably deserved the shutout there on Sunday night. But knowing the team first mentality he has, it'll have been just important to get us through the playoffs, and that probably wasn't something that he even really thought about. But I thought a real pretty good professional performance in what was going to be a difficult arena, and came out with the right result and very, very pleasing night at the office.
It got a bit feisty after this. Says obviously this goal goes in, or sorry, it's coming up, but the goal goes in for the Coventry Blaze to make it 1-1. There's a bit of I don't know if you'll be able to see it here, but Prince comes off the bench. He's waving. It's there's and obviously we have about 4 or 5 minutes of face to face between the two sides. Like you say, there's the shot there. It goes high. But I don't know if we pull it back. You can see Prince come off the bench, waving over to the bench, and it's obviously not taken well. And then we have a bit of afters between the two teams.
I'm all for that. Again, it's just a pity that there was not 1 seconds left in the game, but there have been another couple of minutes that could have been really interesting. But it's, as I say, it's done now. We managed to get exactly what we want out of the weekend, and now we're in the final four. And look, again, I know we're going to talk about it here shortly about the Cardiff Devils. They're going to be a tough team to play against. We've already seen that this season. It's going to be, it doesn't matter what's happening on Sunday. It's all about Saturday now, and we need to prepare properly. And hopefully, we've got everybody ready to go on the weekend.
Let's take the post game from there, and we will be coming back with Jeff Mason.
Yeah, hey, I'll tell you what, man. For a lack of a better word, I won't use the F word, but I love that game tonight. Just reminded me of old school hockey, the battle, the compete, the physicality, just fighting for every inch out there. And both teams had to. I think there was 40 total shots in the whole game. And what I said to the guys was just, you know what, I've had seasons where maybe you had better regular season and you went into playoffs and you kind of had a sour taste in your mouth because you didn't feel like you left it out on the ice. And look, nobody likes to lose. I hate losing more than anybody, and I'm frustrated at that. But at the same time, these guys left absolutely everything out there. They battled, they competed man for a man, and that was a series that was as tight as anything I've ever seen, and they got the extra bounce. Simple as that. Unlucky goal last night, and that's the difference in the series. And unfortunately, we couldn't get that tying goal earlier. I thought Belfast did a really good job in the third period. Our plan was to get Cozy out, inside 5 minutes there, with 2 goals, get back, and they put together 2 really good back-to-back shifts in the O-zone that we couldn't get the puck off them and couldn't get, set up in their zone or a face-off. So, you got to give them credit for that. They played a very smart third period and made it tough to come back.
Yeah, I thought it was a good game of hockey, back and forth. I thought yesterday was too. Wasn't thrilled with our output yesterday. Obviously, we come away with the win, which was a big one. Obviously made the difference tonight. But I thought today it was much different. I thought everybody was pulling the rope in the right direction tonight. Everybody was battling for each other, making the right plays there. We fought those guys off there right till point one. And I think that that's a credit to our guys. They're making the right plays at the right time, and there was a big goal there by Teddy.
The highlights of both games are available from Belfast Giants TV on Saturday and Blaze TV for Sunday. Just a note before we go, so I said this at this time of the year, big thanks to Giants TV for everything they do during the season. I know, Says, you're a big part of that, but all the guys behind it on the game night, but all the guys behind it from my point of view, I'm sure from Davy's point of view as well, the resource they offer for us to be able to watch the games and anybody be able to tune in the games is invaluable. We use them a lot here on A View from the Bridge, and we're very grateful for that. And I'm sure, Davy, you can add your point, but the guys who do the job, before we go down this, but the guys who do the work there, it's fantastic.
Belfast Giants TV, and indeed, David and the other guys, the videos around the league, we can't do what we do here. We can't do stats without it. We can't do analytics without it, and you can't have fun because you can't get to all the games. So you don't get to see the games. So nowadays you get to see every game. So, it keeps you engaged with problems. I've said often, this club is my link home because I've been away 12 years and I was homesick today as the day I left, and the Giants are my anchor at home. They give me a reason just to be. I'm loving for that. So for the guys that bring it to me live on my laptop, I appreciate this.
Yeah, 20 years for me this year, mate. It's so I can sympathise. But Says, you're there, you're part of it, and the work that goes into it.
Look, some of the guys turn up there between 1:30 and 2:00 and start to get prepared for the broadcast. And it's not so bad when we've got back-to-back games, because then you sort of just turn up at 4:00. But it's you've got to put the cables all the way along for the cameras. The cameras have got to be set up. They've got to be focused. They've got to, it just, there's an awful lot of effort goes into it. So again, I think, I do think we can be better. Dave works his tail off to get everything done and prepared for it. But he's a busy lad. He does also rugby. He does funerals and all that as well. Since COVID, he's been doing videos for funerals, or live broadcasts from funerals, which is absolutely brilliant, because then there's a market for it. So you may as well knock yourself out. It does. He's a very busy lad, and again, I just think that we can be better as well.
That makes me smile, says, because obviously my wee granny died in 2020, and because there was low numbers allowed in, and family in America and stuff that couldn't come, and the boys are going into the funeral. The Giants TV guys are standing at the back of the church, I guess, for their cameras. We Neil and all did it for me as a viewer. Well, not as a viewer, but they did it for me. So always indebted to them for that. But it makes me smile when I think of that day.
But the fact is, they're always striving to do better, and year on year, the product gets better and better and better. And a big thanks to the guys at Giants TV for what they do. Right, let's move on. Let's get stuck into talking about what they expect this weekend and how we're going to face them. We're delighted to be joined once again on A View from the Bridge by one of the assistant coaches of the Belfast Giants. That is, of course, the legendary defenseman, Jeff Mason. How you doing, mate?
Gentlemen, how are you?
Not too bad. I'm glad to see you're not wearing a Boston Red Sox cap this time. You're wearing an Auto Customs one.
Shout out to Senior here.
That is a very nice Ryder Cup flag in the background. Give us your take on the weekend gone by, the two performances against the Coventry Blaze.
I think it was very similar to what we expected going in. We knew they'd be tough to score against. They defend really hard. They're a team that had a good, they went into the weekend before having to have a good weekend just to get into the playoffs, and they obviously had two big wins and, defended well that weekend. So we were anticipated it would be difficult to score. We knew we had to defend well. I thought we did that both nights, obviously. Went into Coventry on Sunday, a very tough building to win in, a tough building to play in, obviously a smaller building. And, I thought the guys turned up and competed and did what they had to do to win. Obviously it was, when you play a team that close for 6 periods, and it's a hard fought game, and guys are, it's playoff hockey. So obviously it was getting a little testy there at the end, but happy with the weekend, happy with what we came away with. Obviously the goal was to get into next weekend, and we did that. And now we turn our attention to Cardiff.
What do you learn from the weekend like that with regards to the team? Because obviously we're on a playoff build, and we're looking to get, we won in the game against Cardiff, and we're looking to get to that final game on Sunday. But those battles we've had with the Coventry Blaze have always been quite tight. We said this earlier on, but there's been no point where we've sort of run away. And the one time we thought we had, they pegged us back. What from that weekend do you learn about this team with regards to the playoffs going into Sunday or Saturday?
I think we defended really well. And I think that obviously that's something that if we're going to have success next weekend, we have to do. All the teams that are left are high-powered offense teams. I think we knew we could defend well going into the weekend. And that was certainly the goal. And we did that. Obviously we gave up the one goal on the PK on Saturday night. And then, the goal with, less than a second left when I think, there was all kinds of things going on, and guys maybe got a little bit distracted. So if you take that out, that's a pretty good performance defensively. And that's what we were hoping for coming into the weekend, and that's what we got, and that's what we'll need going into Saturday.
And just your touching on it there, Mace, was kind of my question. Obviously, go back on the big ice now and Nottingham, but this is, hopefully the 2 games you'll play over the weekend, you probably not want to get into like a track meet situation. You want to be defensively tight first and foremost.
No, absolutely. I mean, Cardiff has a ton of firepower, and it's something that we've known. When we've played them all year, you can't give them lots of opportunities. You can't give them opportunities off the rush. You can't get caught on odd mans. So we're going to have to be very tight defensively, and then capitalize on our opportunities when we get them. I think we've played Cardiff very well, all year. Certainly, we had to go back there a couple of weeks when we played them twice in the week and we took 3 or 4 points. We know we can beat them, but we know it's a tough task. They're a very good hockey team, and we have to be on our game and firing on all cylinders come Saturday night.
Mace, going into this weekend, a lot of these guys on our roster and a lot of the guys in the Cardiff roster as well have never played in this sort of atmosphere when there's 10 sets of fans, maybe a couple from the lower leagues as well, all in one building. Not all cheering for you, depending on, obviously nobody's going to cheer for the Steelers at all weekend apart from the Steelers fans, but there's always some neutrals who cheer for different teams. But is that, or can that be a challenge? Is it something that guys, talk about in the locker room? Again, I haven't, with the practicing the null this week, I haven't really had the chance to sit and listen to anybody, but does that cause an issue, or is there an easy way to get around that?
I think I've long believed that the playoff finals weekend is the best thing that the league does. I think when guys get there, the level of excitement just builds. And I think, hopefully our guys will thrive on that. I mean, certainly we've played in front of ruckus sellout crowds and in Belfast all season. The fan support has been absolutely amazing, and I'm sure it will be on the weekend as well. And I think that these are the moments that you play for. These are the situations that you want to be in as a player and a coach. Certainly looking back to my time playing in finals weekends, I mean, the excitement is second to none. So I think, yes, it'll be loud and there'll be people cheering against you, but there'll be plenty of people cheering for us. And I think that hopefully the excitement of the weekend and everything will bring out the best in our group.
You just mentioned there about you playing in the playoff final weekends. It's now 14 years since you came to the UK. 2010, wasn't it? 2011?
2010, yeah.
What do you think of the standard now compared to back then?
I think the league has year on year, it certainly has improved. When I came into the league, there was some very good players and some very good teams, but the parity wasn't there, and it was very much a two-tiered league. As the years have gone on, anybody can beat anyone. If you look at the league top to bottom this year, take Sheffield out of the equation, it was an extremely close year. And you go back a month and there was a lot of teams that, they were so bunched up. If Sheffield didn't have the season they had and ran away from everybody, you could have had a crazy run into, stretch run in. So I think the league has become a lot more balanced. There's a lot more parity in the league. The fan support across the league has increased since I've come in. The standard of the clubs, and I heard you guys talking about, Giants game nights and things, and certainly from the time that I've come to Belfast till now, the product that's put on the ice, the entertainment that's put on for the fans that come in, not only in the arena, but online watching the games, is the standard is extremely high, and people are, continually trying to better that. There are certainly clubs in the league that could probably do things better. And there's certainly things that the league could do better. But I think it's certainly gone in the right direction. And you've seen that with, the numbers of attendances and how competitive the league is top to bottom.
Mace, just before Paddy goes there, I just want to follow up on that. Give you an opportunity, I guess, from the coaching side of thing. Almost 250,000 people have walked through the doors of the Odyssey this year to support the Jazz. Those are incredible numbers.
It is incredible, and I tip my hat to to all the fans and all the people that came in and supported the team. I certainly know there was times this year that were difficult for everyone involved, for fans, for coaches, for players. The injuries that we've experienced, the number of players, out of the lineup and different things. And, some of the performances and other things, for the fans and everyone to continually turn up, to continually come back, continue to support the club, it has been incredible. And we certainly appreciate it, as staff and players, and hopefully we can return all that goodwill that the fans showed us this year by going out and finishing on a high this weekend.
How is preparation going on?
It's good. I think guys are excited, and I think you get to this point in the year, and it's just about fine tuning some things. Obviously, preparing for Cardiff on Saturday. Like I said, touched on, we played them recently twice. So a lot of we know a lot of what they're doing. They know what we're doing. So it's about, just making sure we're ready to go and firing on all cylinders.
Nice one, mate. Well, listen, good luck this weekend. Thanks for joining us, mate. And no doubt we'll chat to you in the near future.
Cheers, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Big thanks to Jeff Mason for joining us on A View from the Bridge. A lot of work going on behind the scenes, and we appreciate Jeff coming on. And obviously we've had George Awada, and we've also had, of course, Adam Keefe coming on. So we do appreciate that. Thanks to him for joining us. And we go straight on from one D-man to another, and we're delighted to welcome back to A View from the Bridge, the one, the only Charlie Curti. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing really well. Playoff hockey, why do you enjoy it?
Just the intensity level. Everyone gets amped up for it, and everyone brings their best. And you always want to play at the highest level possible. And when guys just got to bring it for 4 games here, it's pretty easy to do so. So everyone's going to be on their game, our team and their team. So just looking forward to it. It's going to be a thrill.
Do you feel that we hit our stride over this weekend with regards to playoff hockey, or is there more to come?
I think there's more to come. I mean, Coventry was probably the one team we looked at and we're like, oh gosh, these guys have kind of had our number, going back to the Challenge Cup disappointment and whatnot, and just playing some tough games in their building. But we fought hard and played the right way for 6 periods. And I think we showed that, when it's not easy, like it always is against those guys, it's we're able to stick together and stay positive when the adversity hits and get the job done. So it brings that confidence. But, going back to that Sheffield weekend where that was probably the best hockey I've seen us play all year, kind of want to just channel that level going into this weekend.
Sorry, I'm a bit disappointed I'm no longer the best playoff beard on the show, but I'm still working on it, mate. I'm still working. Really good to have you back at the weekend. I know you've been skating since that injury, and you've been really busting to get the opportunity. Feeling good after the weekend? How's the legs?
Oh, it felt good. Yeah, legs felt a lot better than I thought. They felt a little jello-y towards the 3rd period, just, not being in that game shape per se. But, George has been working me after practice. Mace got me and Jenny the other day. So we've been doing a lot of extra work to get our legs back under us and our lungs back. And, just when a game is played the way we played it, just managing the game and playing the right way where it's not too back and forth, it makes it a lot easier to play a strong defensive game and keep the shifts short, where you're not just running around chasing the game. So, it felt good, got a decent amount of minutes, and it felt good and felt good to contribute again after a month off.
And you talk about contributing, and that you don't always see the numbers on the, suppose it's +1. You don't really see the numbers on the stat sheet, but we talked about after the game about that really good defensive play down in your own corner that then springs us to go up the other end of the ice and scores. Little things happening as well.
Yeah, just trying to do my job, and fortunately I've been able to watch a lot of hockey. It's nice to see it from a different angle, from up top, and kind of see where those little plays make a difference. It's really noticeable when you're watching from afar, and just watching a lot of my game film over the last few weeks because I really had nothing better to do. So just trying to fine tune those little things going into these really meaningful games.
Charlie, you touch on you were watching the game, or you were sitting right in front of us on Saturday night, and watching the week before as well, sitting right in front of us. But Saturday night, you're an eye on the Masters as well. Did you have a wee flutter in the Masters?
No, I just appreciate them watching the game, and I don't need to watch the chuck a puck in between periods or anything like that. It was nice to keep tabs on that because when you're playing professionally, you miss a lot of those events, and as a very, very amateur golfer, it's just nice to watch guys hit the ball into play as opposed to one of the woods like myself.
Oh, I want to touch on the Friendship 4 with you. Obviously, you played with Yale in Belfast a few years ago. What was your experience like with Friendship 4? Obviously, we've got another 6 months away from the 7th Friendship 4 coming in with Notre Dame, sorry.
Notre
BU,
Dame, please, mate.
Merrimack, and Harvard. What can some of the fans who may not have ventured into the Friendship 4, what sort of standard can they expect for some of these guys coming in November?
It's great hockey. I love college hockey still. I still follow along when I can. But these kids, the college hockey atmosphere, you go to school with these guys for 4 or even 5 years when you have the extra COVID year, and you just form these tight bonds. So and you play less games in college, so every night is kind of like a playoff game, and so that these kids will be excited coming into a new building in front of a big crowd like we had when I came in 2018, and it just you kind of feed off that, and you want to compete and put on a good product for a Belfast crowd that doesn't get to see college hockey. And so, I mean, Harvard, Notre Dame, all those programs, they're great programs. They're perennial contenders, and a lot of smart kids go there as well. So you'll see some disciplined, tight defensive hockey. Probably won't be too high scoring, but it'll still be exciting nonetheless.
Charlie, I've got a golf question for you. It was a question I seen a guy pose on Twitter today. Masters, you're taking the Augusta, and everybody else is sitting from the tee, but you get to place your ball every time on the green, furthest point away from the hole on every green. Could you put to win the Masters?
No.
You have the lowest score? No,
they're absolutely not. We had a couple of those funny conversations in the locker room, and maybe if you guys get Miles Gendron on, he'll have a better answer for you and a maybe a little more confident one. But those greens are no joke. You saw those, even the best in the world struggling with those things, and Lord knows how I would struggle with that. So absolutely not, no way.
Be nice to try, but wouldn't it?
Oh, it'd be so fun. Yeah, it'd be great, but probably not good for the confidence.
I had money on Scotty Scheffler from about 2 weeks ago, so I was a happy
bet.
man.
That's a good bet.
I was happy. Wow, listen, he's been playing phenomenal golf for months now. You know what I mean? But also on that Masters aspect, having a chat with our friend Mark Hitchcock, and we were saying how much would it cost on one of the package deals to go to Augusta if you wanted to go. And Hitchy came up with probably about $5-6 grand. He looked it up. £11,500 if you want to fly over, be a patron, and do also $11,500 for a 5-day trip to watch the Masters. Now, don't get me wrong, I'd love it, but $11,500 grand.
I believe someone we know was there on Thursday. Yeah, it says
LFG.
Was Jeff Bond there on Thursday?
Everywhere. He's watching. He'll be watching now. He goes everywhere.
Everywhere.
He's more mileage than Jenner than.
So he went to watch the St. Louis Cardinals on opening day, and he went to Augusta for the Masters.
Jeff Blum Senior, 100%.
Just
last Thursday, he was there.
Charlie, last question: How you building for Saturday? How are you feeling? What's the feeling like in the room going into Saturday's game against Cardiff?
We're all feeling good. It's kind of coming to that realization where you have 1 week left together with this group. And so everyone's kind of just taking that in and kind of appreciating every moment we have this week in training and everything, even though we're at Dundonald, not our favorite place in the world. But I know the vibes will be high at practice, and we'll be having a good time preparing. And it's 6 more periods left, barring some overtime hockey. But, you kind of just, we all rested up yesterday after the tough games on the weekend, and we're starting to get our bodies back feeling good and doing the right things, and the intensity in practice will kind of ramp up during the week, and I know Kiefer will keep the energy in mind. So just kind of doing what we have been doing the last month or two, where we've done really well in terms of the league, and just keep that positive momentum going.
Well, listen, mate, it's good to see you back on the ice. Good to see you playing a game. Good to see you part of this Belfast Giants side. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks for having me, guys. Great to see you guys.
Big thanks to Charlie Curti. Really great having him back on the show. Great guy, great player. And good luck to him this weekend. Right, we move on. Next guest. A man the three of us know quite well. We'll roll this on. And technically, this is weird, because this podcast used to be produced in Old Trafford back in 2015. And right now we're going to go to Brand Statham Way in Old Trafford on the old road I used to live in, because in the Hilton Hotel, we're joined by the head of commercial operations for the Elite League, Mark Brooks. How are you, mate?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm good.
How's that hotel? How's that lovely hotel of yours, mate?
It's good. A lot of cricket going on outside today, but yeah, I'm at the ticketing business forum today. I'm not just here for the crack. I was obviously keen to visit you, Paddy, but yeah, all good.
The county game going on, I'd say, for Lancashire, probably. It's nice there. It's nice. Anyway, listen, 1 year in the job, mate. How you had it?
Yeah, it's gone really well. Really enjoyed being back. I've loved it, to be honest with you. Like, I really enjoyed my time with Ulster, but it's great to be back in the sport that I love too. And it's been fun. Like, I feel like I've completed the league to an extent this year. I've visited all 10 teams, and it's been great to see people behind the scenes that I hadn't seen in a long time, and get to. It's different visiting teams with a league hat on, maybe as opposed to an individual team hat. You get to see just a lot of things behind the scenes maybe you're not privy to, because to an extent everyone is still competitors. So no, it's been great. Like, my main role is to grow the league itself, but yeah, like, you guys know me, like, I really enjoy getting in behind the scenes and seeing if I can help teams, because good old saying, the rising tide lifts all ships. So the better every team is, the better the rest of the league is too.
So then the next question would be, why did you take the job? What would be the main reason you took the job to be head of commercial operations for the Elite League? What did you feel that you could bring to it?
That's a really good question. And I guess that was something that the Elite proven over time too. But I feel like there's loads of untapped potential within our league. Like I said, like, the main rule for me is growing the league, and that will be done with revenue. Same as all of us. All of our costs have gone up in the last number of years, like, both personally speaking and as businesses. And for us as a league, we're not exempt to that either too. So it's really important that we bring in revenue. But the best way to grow the league is to find the right partners that we want to work with too. So it's really important that we can just explore different ways of growing revenue, whether that's through sponsorship or merchandising or licensing, loads of different ways. But I just love being back. I love the sport. Like, I love the games. I'm still attending games and pretending to call it work. So it's really fun few months so far.
Brooksy, as always, love the chat to you. I know we'll get the chat the odd time on the WhatsApp, but when we put out earlier on that you were coming on, we were inundated with the question that you may or may not want to involve yourself in. You talked about growing the brand. TV. Open-ended.
TV? Yeah. What's the question?
It's just open-ended.
Just open-ended. TV, mate.
Statement.
Drug of the nation.
Just, I guess it's disappeared off screens to an extent this season. People want to know, is that something that's on your desk to try and put it back on the box?
To an extent it is, yeah. I mean, I think first and foremost, one thing that's really encouraging is how well teams do the live streaming. I know that I see comments going back and forth, but if we can all take ourselves back, 10 years, where we were all following individuals on Facebook for how the games were going, we were like, it was so different. Think about that, how different it was now. So every team live streams their games. We can all watch whatever team we want to watch away from home. So that's really important in the first instance. However, yeah, it's really important that we have, for me, like, it's really important that our marquee games as a league appear on TV, and that is the playoff finals weekend. Like Mace just said it, it's probably one of the best. It's the best weekend of the season so far. I think it's one of the best sporting week. I'm not just saying it because I'm working for the league now, but it's one of the best sporting weekends around in terms of the jeopardy that's at stake, etc., etc. So I think it's really important that and our Challenge Cup final, if I can talk about that this season, appeared on TV too. So those events are really important for us. Like, we had over or around 30,000 watch the Challenge Cup final this year, which is great. It's a really good audience for us. That was across
really
the UK, Ireland, and Europe too, because we were on that Viaplay platform at the time. So we had an exposure like that's really important, not just for growth of the league, which I see bandied about quite a bit too, but also just for future partnerships. It's really important for someone like me who's taken future sponsorship propositions to market, that we have this really great viewership that we're able to promote. But yeah, in the short term, the announcement will come tomorrow that the playoff finals will be back on TV this year, which I'm really excited about. We're going to work with Premier Sports again. That announcement will come tomorrow, just because we're working a few things through with them. They are very fresh and rebranding as of a few days old again too, but that's amazing that we're back on Premier. For me, they've been a really good partner of ours as a league for a long time, and they also provide us with a really, if I can kind of be selfish about it too, a really good platform for us as a league. Like they have even hockey content. I'm not sure if you guys are subscribers, but they have the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs start this Saturday actually. The World Championships start in a few weeks' time in Prague with GB playing in that too. But away from that, like they have La Liga, they have like this weekend they have El Clasico, and I'm not just talking about Belfast Cardiff. La Liga, they have NASCAR. I'm not sure because we'll all be in Nottingham, but for the point being, I guess, before boring you with it, is that it's a good platform. There's loads of sporting viewers on there, and again, it does us no harm to be alongside some of the program that they've got too.
I don't want to ask you to put a Belfast Giants hat on. Can if you want. You talk about growth all around the league. We had Mason on earlier, and we're just saying to him, almost 250,000 just through the doors of the Odyssey, and that is, SSE Arena. That's been replicated all around, virtually all around all 10 teams. Must be pretty pleased with that in your commercial role.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think even if you look the whole way back to August, or was it September time, whenever we had like Fife delayed their face off by half an hour because they sold out on their opening weekend against Dundee. Dundee did the same thing both nights. I think the capacity was at like 90% last weekend or the last regular season weekend, whenever we saw sellouts in Belfast for those two games against Sheffield. We saw sellouts all around the place too. So yeah, absolutely, those images are great too. And I think that how good was that playoff race this year? Not good for the teams obviously that missed out, but just the excitement that went into the last few weeks of the season. I appreciate you guys with Belfast. We're looking a bit higher up the standings, but it was great. And the more competitive the game is on the ice, the better it is for the fans, the better it is for potential partners too.
Brooksy, you talk. Obviously, you're in the job just a year now, but it's been a tough year for you off the ice as well. Obviously, the league's faced a lot of adversity the whole season long, and I think we chatted on it as a podcast there a few months ago, dealing with everything over the last 6 months, especially. I think the league have done really, really well in very difficult circumstances. And you tweeted, or sorry, I think it might have been on your LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago that we had hit 1 million people coming through the gates at all the arenas in the UK, and that it just goes to show that the sport is not minor sport anymore. It is a mainstream sport in the UK. Yeah,
it is definitely, and fair play to Luke Fisher. You guys obviously work with really closely. He keeps a track of all that stuff. And
I get shout out really from him all the time.
Yeah, he's a man after my own heart. Then he does a really good job in capturing all that content and then promoting it as well as possible too. If you think about that too, like 1 million people coming through our doors, and I know that some of those people, like a lot of those people, are repeat season ticket holders too. But there's a lot of, like, says you'll know better than I do, like a lot of ad hoc people that come, they're coming for the first time on a regular basis. I don't recognize that many people when I walk around the arena in Belfast anymore. There's a lot of new fans, which is fantastic. And again, really important that we have and I think even just to touch on Luke's stuff for a second, because it's important to talk about whenever we think about the grand scope of the league too, is off the ice too, that the stat man here will appreciate it as well, like the likes of the XG, the time on ice, all the content that we're putting together that we take in now, that's all commercial, if that's the term, for me down the line too. But again, it's really good insight for how the game's growing, and I know there's going to be a lot of focus on it this weekend with Luke and his team that he's got in place as well. So there's a lot of facts and figures out there that I think people like engaging with too. It makes it, like, I think the Elite League fan bases collectively are some of the most engaged in sport that I've ever seen, and I think it's cool that we have even more content that people can kind of get stuck into over online.
I've seen a comment there in the question, or some of the fans put comments up on the YouTube part, and he said that there's only 7 seats left for this weekend. That's unbelievable for the whole arena basically be sold out. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Well, that's obviously like the fan support. You guys have just mentioned it too. Like the fan support all around the league has been fantastic. Like it's going to be the highest attendance at finals weekend since 2019. So since pre-COVID. We've well less than 100 tickets remaining. Like what is on the seat map online right now is what there is available for sale. So there's no hidden blocks. There's nothing being held off for sale. That's it. And it's even more remarkable it's been done with weekend passes only. We haven't even had to go into breaking up individual games or individual days. So yeah, that's really pleasing. And just to go back on the TV thing really quickly too. So It'll be announced tomorrow about Premier, which obviously we're really excited about working with those guys, and obviously great to get Aaron Murphy back on the mic as well. But outside of the UK and Ireland, we're also going to stream it. So we're going to have a separate platform for people in the Gander Belfast Giants Supporters Club. Davy will be able to watch throughout North America. So we're going to have a separate platform for people to kind of pay-per-view to watch that as well. And again, that's really important. And again, it's been great to work with Premier on kind of carving out those different territories as well.
So then the next logical question then, Mr. Brooks, is what's next? Where do you go? What? Let's look beyond this weekend. Let's look into year 2 for you. What comes next, and what are you chasing?
Good partners. Like, the one thing that good partnerships will bring is revenue, and that's obviously, if we're being really honest about it, a lot of what my role is. But aside from that too, like, I think the sponsorship conversation within the league has been going as long as I've been involved with it, and it's always about, we need to find sponsors, we need to get sponsors in. But I think what's really important that we've never really spoken enough about is the value that we as a league will be offering businesses and offering companies. Like, all the stuff I've just spoken about that you guys are aware of too, that like our social channels, again, they're night and day since Luke took over to what they are now, and the content's being pushed out. So there's loads of important things there that people can take advantage of, and we can deliver good return on investment for companies. So over the next number of years, it can be a slow burner at times, a sponsorship, and I'm quite an impatient person, but yeah, I think we want to have a number of partners who both resource us but also can help us grow as well. Like, what can other companies offer us in terms of helping us grow, whether it's around the UK, in Ireland, further afield, who knows? But yeah, we want to find really good sponsors, really good companies who are kind of willing to work with us and help us grow. And
other than what you've been doing and what we've been seeing you doing and handing out the medals at the end of the big trophies, what is your weekend going to entail?
So you did watch the Challenge Cup final?
No, I saw clips. No, in fact, no, I didn't. I saw the picture that was sent to me of you handing out the medals. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
To be fair, Brixie sent that to me. I just forwarded it. Can you see me now? Can you see me now?
Well, what does your weekend entail this weekend?
It'll be a lot of fun working. Like, obviously, the likes of myself and Luke and Mike Hicks, we all work remotely, so they're good to kind of get together again too. But yeah, we've got a few potential partners and a few kind of potential clients coming along the weekend too, and we're hosting a few of our partners, existing partners too. Like, this season so far has been pretty good in terms of, like, we've done a few licensing deals. We've got a good relationship with some of the partners in Nottingham too, like the likes of Green King, that are one of our official sponsors for this weekend as well. Like, you'll see them in all the playoff jerseys. So yeah, it'll be a lot of running around, I'm sure. Like, there's tons of stuff on the go. Like, it'll be promoted, I think, over the course of the next few days. But the likes of all the activities and entertainment in Belair Square and Saltbox, if you guys were there last year, I think it's a similar platform with music and other stuff on the go, DJs from breakfast until late too. So you will see me running around, no doubt, this weekend. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to being back to it. As I said, it's my first finals weekend since 2019, and even to go out from my league hat for a minute too, I think some of my best, I'm not sure if you guys can say this too maybe, but some of my best memories in hockey come from finals weekend. Like I said too, there's so much jeopardy on the line, both in semi-finals and final. Like, I've seen the good sides of it when I've been involved with the Giants, whenever Evan Chevry scored that winning goal in 2010, which is wild to think that that's 14 years ago. Even think back to Johnny scored twice, I think, in the final in 2003. But then I was talking about some of this earlier on. Like, you think of Theo Fleury, one of the greats to play the game, and we didn't make it past the semi-final that year. So, and the Giants again lost back-to-back in overtime in 2013 and 14. So loads of emotions that come with this weekend, and really intrigued to see who's the hero this year.
So many good memories of Belfast Giants in Nottingham, not least at a famous Nottingham restaurant. Quite often when I'm home, we'll ask for the things I'm going to ask you about, but quite often when I'm home, I like to catch up with you and have a beer. But last time I was home for the games against Sheffield, you weren't there. Where were you?
I was at a Ice Bar in Berlin game on the Friday night, which was
the playoff game. How was that?
It was wild. It was brilliant. Yeah, they were playing Straubing on the Friday night. So the first DEL game I've been to. I've had the pleasure of being to Augsburg before. I've had the pleasure of the Augsburg fans visiting Belfast.
Landshut.
Yeah, Landshut and some other cities we've been to as well. But where else did we go? We did Bremerhaven, which is now a DEL team.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they won the regular season title this year, so that was brilliant. Yeah, it was really great to see. I was actually there to run the half marathon on the Sunday, so I also took in the game on the Friday night, which always went down pretty well. But no, it was great to see too, and great to see what they do with the playoffs over there as well. And yeah, busman's holiday, isn't it? Is the term, like, where I just quite love going around and seeing what other teams and other sports do, and seeing there's a few ideas that we can steal for us.
Well, you know my love for that team, mate. You know, love that experience and what they offer there. It is fantastic. Listen, mate, Good to see you. See you tomorrow night. They meet up for a drink tomorrow night, mate, and we will
absolutely
in the town. But thanks. Good luck this weekend, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks very much. See you all this weekend. Yeah,
thanks, Brooksy.
Take it easy, bud. Absolutely. Big thanks to Mark Brooks. Big thanks to Brooksy for coming on. I think he's been on once or twice before, but you know the support he gave us at the time when he was at the Belfast Giants, Davy, and you know, helping us to build the platform that we have now. Brooksy was a big part of that.
Nailed it, mate. If you know, if he does half as good a job at the league as what he did, pumping our tires every week, you know, you'll not go far wrong. We simply wouldn't be doing this podcast probably still if it hadn't been for his input 10 years ago or whatever it was, you know, really helping us to push the brand. So, you know, we'll always be indebted to him for that.
Absolutely, and says, you know, like you've stepped into the role partially sort of vacated by Brooksy and doing the work that he was doing at Giants. You know that how difficult it can be.
Absolutely. And I mean, to be honest with you, I'm only doing a part of what Brooksy was doing.
Yeah,
you know, he was looking after all the marketing side of things as well. So you know, he's definitely got a tough job, and trying to do it for the league as well. I'm sure it's probably even harder when you've got your own area to look after. I mean, obviously Belfast, Northern Ireland, I'm sort of, you know, knocking on every door and trying to get them involved in the Belfast Giants. He's got to do it UK wide and Europe wide. So, but I think he's a top lad, and he'll do a great job for them. Whether it's on the ice or in the arenas or whatever it may be, he's doing a great job so far.
Here. Right, let's crack on, lads. And with a bit of league news, 2 bits of league news. Obviously, playoff qualification. Straightforward for the Sheffield Steelers. 9-3 win against Sheffield with just Sheffield Steelers fans. And then back to Fife, where they won 4-1 to put them through. Cardiff went through with a 4-2 home win and a 3-2 away win over Dundee. Games that were at times quite spicy. Meanwhile, as I mentioned earlier, I went to Altrincham on Saturday with my friends Alex and Hannah and Laura, who were at their first hockey game. And we witnessed Guildford mow the Storm down 5-1 in Altrincham and then 4-0 in Surrey for what is deemed, I guess, the only technical upset as Storm were the higher seed. So the semi-finals, as I'm sure everybody is aware, the first semi-final 3 will be Sheffield against the Guildford Flames, a rematch of the Challenge Cup final, and then ourselves against the Cardiff Devils in the evening on Saturday. Both those games will be live on Premier Sports, as Mr. Brooks has just confirmed. And just to add that when it came to our predictions, Mr. Majemse and Mr. Kitchen were correct on all 4. I chose the Storm over Guildford, and I was incorrect. A quick chat about those before we move on. Those 2 semi-finals. Davy, the Sheffield Guildford one, the opening one. It's the rematch of the Challenge Cup final, but Sheffield probably go into this game as overwhelming favourites, do they?
Well, they'll certainly go in with a bit of an edge with the bookmakers. Who would have thought they've had a very strong season. They'll want to be focused to try and, you know, win all the marbles, but Guildford Flames will be trying their very best to stop them. And you never know what happens on the big occasion. Some people freeze, some don't. So see what happens. I don't want to talk about the semi-finals too much.
All right, then. What about ours?
We talked about Mace with Mace right earlier on. I'm expecting a sort of Titanic defensive display kind of battle between both teams. I don't see this being a run and gun 6-5 or anything. Who knows? Might be wrong in that, but I see it being a sort of tight defensive game and maybe decided by the goaltending on the night. But I don't know. I'm just nervous now. It's just that you have my very, very best memories probably following this club are in Nottingham, and so are my very, very worst ones. It just, there's nothing feels worse than a defeated playoffs, and I don't think anything has ever felt better than that last 2 minutes, especially last season. I know we've won playoffs before and we've been to finals before and had magic moments, but just that pure exhilaration of what was going to happen, and you knew it was going to happen for those last couple of minutes, was just Josh Rhodes coming into the box at 1-0 down, saying, "Relax, lads. This is, you know," and then Steve Orry scoring and just turning around and going, "What was it?" You know, great memories, and just like, you just want to repeat. You know, it can't repeat every year, but you just want to repeat. That's what the drug keeps you making you go back.
Says, how are you seeing the semi-final against Cardiff?
I think it came down to a battle of the goalies and staying out of the penalty box. You know, the referees let the games run. The special teams will play a massive, massive part in this. You know, our power play hasn't been great this year. We scored 50% on Saturday night, which was fantastic. I don't think it was anywhere near that on the Sunday night, sorry. But that's going to be a tough game. They've been arguably been our biggest competitor over the last 5-6 years. You know, and they know how to win. They know how to win the playoffs. And it just takes two wins, and they've got another trophy, and very, very similar to us. So, you know, it doesn't matter what happens on Sunday. Doesn't matter one bit right now. It's all about Saturday and trying to just get prepared, prepare the right way. And I'm no doubt that Adam will have these guys up for it. And you know, the first goal on Saturday could be really, really vital.
Other news around the league: Jason Morgan has gone from Glasgow. I don't think anybody's surprised at that, but he's been replaced by the return to the Elite League of Corey Nielsen, the one-time league winner, now mopping up the mess in the basement dwellers. Tom Coolan is back for another season in Fife. We look forward to having him back on the show. And after a tragic and tumultuous year, I don't think anybody's really surprised that Jonathan Paredes has left the Nottingham Panthers for an opportunity back in Europe. Says, any thoughts on any three of those?
To be honest, I'm a wee bit disappointed with John Paredes heading off. You know, you
can understand it though.
Like, absolutely, he's had a very, very difficult year. But I would like to see what he would have been capable of with a full year of hockey. I said this a few weeks. Actually, you know what? I think I said it back in January. I still think he should be coach of the year for what they had to go through. It's been a very, very difficult season for the Nottingham Panthers. Don't get me wrong, I have no love for the Panthers in any way, shape, or form. But you know what they've had to go through this year, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So, but look, best of luck to him. You know, obviously, you know, he's going on the pastures new. But the first point with regards to Clan, Big Corey was the first person to come into my mind with regards to jumping into getting a job there. So that doesn't really surprise me. I think he could come out with some really nice signings. I mean, he's got two kids that are top-notch hockey players. One's in, I think it's Alaska, University of Alaska, and the other one's playing in Nottingham. So, you know, two Brits, if he manages to basically take them, making a family event up in the Clan, you know, that could be two really big signings for them. No idea how it's going to turn out for him. But, like, again, he's got a difficult job on his hands. They would have been very, very difficult to you know, basically get something going this year. They would have been very, very disappointed in not getting to the playoffs, and obviously finishing, was it dead last? I think they finished 10th, Clan, didn't they? So
they were 10th, they were bottom.
Yeah, so it's got a bit difficult year, but look, again, right now, I don't really care. It's all about the chance again, and hopefully we'll be all right to go on Saturday afternoon.
Davey, any thoughts on the coaching changes?
No, didn't think so. I think I'd like to echo some of what said around the Nottingham Panthers. You know, people know my thoughts on the 22nd of October 2002 and everything that's going on since then. NF. But listen, what happened this year will have had a profound effect on Jonathan and his decision to probably move on. And all you can do is wish him well in what will be a recovery process. Hope his summer, you know, that now that the hockey's done, he can sort of look forward more than look back as such, and can get on with his coaching career and get back involved in hockey and with a fresh sort of shitty ice, so to speak, and just like everybody around the Nottingham Panthers, the pass and the players and the fans and all. Just, I know it sounds really common to send them to say congratulations on getting through what was a real trying season for them. I think that belittles it in a huge manner, but it's been a difficult season for them. They got through it. It would have been easy to close the doors and say, see you next season, but they didn't. They struggled through, and to their eternal credit,
nearly got there.
They deserve huge plaudits for that.
Here. And that's it. So the Belfast Giants will face the Cardiff Devils on Saturday, 7 p.m. at the NIC, and that game will be live on Premier Sports. Any other business, boys?
I sent you two photographs.
I'll
see which order you put them up in. It'll be a surprise for me too.
Okay, let's go with Martin Kelly first. Mate, you start talking.
Give shout out to Martin Kelly. They've drive all over the country. Their away games help path out with the water bottles. Two great guys. You might see a picture of them. One of these.
Yeah, we're going to get them now.
But they'll be there at the weekend if you see them.
There's the lads
and a wave. There they are.
They put some miles in, those boys.
They do indeed. They've got a. They're like water to get in anywhere, mate. But two absolutely great fellas. You can't say enough good things about them. They're really, really good fun to have around the rink, and looking forward to spending a few hours with them at the weekend. See if either of them a bad drink. Unlikely.
Oh, there's Stu's back. And then we move on to the other photograph that you've asked me to put up.
I've seen this on Bakebook earlier on. Davy Phillips giving up his Tuesday afternoons all season long to go to the ASD clinic out of Beaver there. I think that's Alison Breeden, is it?
Yep.
With the specs on, yeah.
Yep.
I recognize her from years gone by. He does great work out there. He's very highly thought of. Davy doesn't realize how loved he is, and what he does is he's such a special guy. Just everywhere he goes and everyone he touches just loves him to bits. And I just think a little nod from us to him as well for he's out there. There's Alison in the comments. Yep, that's me, Alison. Haven't seen you for forever. Me being away from home and all, but lovely to see you. And brilliant that Davy goes down there and gives his time up. I mean, he absolutely loves it. And I can guarantee in his heart he wants to be back there next season.
A brilliant work from him. There's Alison saying that the kids love him. He is an inspiration. I don't doubt that. Obviously, he was one of the winners of the Jim Gillespie. Him and Friendy was on last week, and the work that those two boys have put in out off the ice has been absolutely phenomenal, and more power to them for that. Simon, as you're bumbling about there with your phone, anything from you? Any other business?
Not tonight, mate. All good.
All good. Right. Well, then, gents, on that point, we'll start to wrap things up. It's a big weekend for the Belfast Giants. They're back looking to retain their playoff trophy that they won, as I said, 1 year ago tonight. It's not been the best.
Here he goes. Here he goes. Rally call. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Not been the best of seasons for the Belfast Giants. Not been the season that we've wanted. Not been the season that any of us wanted to be part of or wanted to see from a team that won the Grand Slam. But we've got one more trophy to win. We're a trophy that we're in for. A trophy that we can win. Teams that we can beat. We've beaten Cardiff this season. We've beaten Sheffield this season. We can beat both of them. We've beaten Guildford this season. We can beat anybody in this competition. And this team can definitely go and do it. LFG is the way we should be going into this weekend, and hopefully come Sunday night the Belfast Giants will be raising once again their fourth playoff trophy. That game Saturday night, the semi-final, is against the Cardiff Devils, 7 p.m. You get that in Premier Sports. If you're not going to be one of the huge travelling number of Belfast Giants fans, there are 7 seats left in the Giants block. There were 8 seats, but one of my mates took one earlier today. So there's 7 seats left in the Giants block. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic weekend. I look forward to seeing a hell of a lot of people there. I look forward to seeing you two gents there. Big thanks to Jeff Mason, Charlie Curti, and Mark Brooks for joining us in this week's show. When do you boys get there?
I'm there Saturday lunchtime, hopefully.
David?
Late on Friday night.
Late on Friday night? Whoa. Going for the big weekend. Brilliant. Well, looking forward to it. It's going to be a big weekend. The Belfast Giants are chasing that trophy. We believe that they can actually go and pick it up and round this season off in a fantastic way. And wherever you are this weekend, if you're not in Nottingham, we hope you enjoy this weekend. We hope you enjoy your hockey, and we'll catch you here next time on A View from the Bridge.